take a couple minutes to talk about how the concept of extreme ownership can have a very positive impact on your marriage and honestly the rest of your life as well. This is an idea I got actually from Jock Willing, um, who wrote a book by the same title, Extreme Ownership. The idea of it is that for any situation that we're in, we take a very extreme look at what happened and our role in that. A good illustration for this is if you're driving to work and there's a car accident down the road. You're not responsible for the accident, but you might still end up late for work. A lot of people would look at that and say, well, it's not really my fault. I didn't cause the accident, so I'm going to be late for work. Not my problem. Extreme ownership looks at that and says, yeah, I'm not responsible for causing the accident. But you know what? Did I check the traffic before I left for work? Did I leave early enough just in case there was an accident? Do I have alternate routes picked out so I can still get to work on time, even if this road's blocked or closed or traffic's slow? So even though I'm not responsible for the accident, I'm still responsible for not getting to work on time. And that's an illustration of how extreme ownership can play out in day-to-day life. When it comes to a relationship, I think one of the clearest examples could be an argument. Someone else might disagree with what you're saying, and they might become irritated or frustrated, and it might seem like it's all their fault, right? But when we take ownership for that, it's taking a step back and saying, okay, did I explain things as well as I could? Did I convey things in a way that the other person's likely to listen to, or in a way that they're not going to get upset about? Did I set up the conversation even at a good time? Did I take ownership for my part of the entire conversation? And if not, then what can I do differently? Same thing if someone's upset at you, and on, and it seems like they're nitpicking every little thing, and they're missing your whole perspective and just completely missing things, right? Well, a normal reaction can be to defend yourself. But then it could come across as if you're not really listening or you don't care what they're saying, taking extreme ownership. Instead, we'll look at that and say, is there any validity to what the other person is saying? If they're really upset, maybe I did do something. Or maybe if I didn't intentionally do something, is there any way I can change what I do in the future so this doesn't happen again? And if not, so be it, but more often than not, there is a way that we can make that change. An interesting thing that will happen with extreme ownership is that as we take responsibility for ourselves and for the choices we make, the people around us start to do the same thing as well. An illustration is if I have a scheduling mishap, right? Instead of blaming a tech issue or misread the schedule, I'm sorry, I double booked or I got the time wrong. I found myself a lot of times the other person is going to say the same thing. Oh, you know what? No, I think I put in my calendar wrong as well. And it's not that I'm trying to manipulate them, not at all. But as I take ownership, people around me start to take ownership as well. So in a relationship, instead of trying to defend yourself or try and prove that you're right, instead by taking ownership, yeah, you know what? This is something I could have done different. I'm sorry that hurt you. Here's what I'm going to do in the future. The more often we do that, the less often we're going to have arguments, and the more often the other person is likely to take ownership for what they do as well. And that can overall have a positive impact on the relationship. The same principle can apply to other areas of our life. You're working with an employer, and things just aren't going well. Take ownership for that. Talk to them. See what you can do different. They give you feedback. Instead of getting upset about it, see it as a chance for growth, just like you can do in a relationship. So that is taking ownership from a 10,000-foot view. So how this can transform your marriage or a relationship is that as you take ownership, in the moment, it can diffuse a lot of those arguments, a lot of the tension. Your partner starts to feel like they can trust you, that you are listening to what they're saying. You also, another thing that taking ownership can do is, sorry, lost that for a second. The other thing that taking ownership can do is, in the long run, then, because you're taking responsibility for the relationship, for your side of it, you start to become proactive. You look at, instead of simply reacting, what are roadblocks that might come up? How can I do different? How can I maybe plan better? How can I have a conversation in a better way? What roadblocks might come up, and how can I prevent them from coming up? So then what at one point might have easily led to an argument then is just kind of a normal routine aspect of life, because you've already planned for it, you've prepared for it. You've done everything you can to make the situation as good as it can be from there.